How can I come to terms with an adult child who has stonewalled me? I've stopped trying to get her to communicate. Now I need to know how to accept it and don't know how. Yeah, this is a tough one because we give birth. Well, I haven't given birth, but as parents, I know we give birth to children and we pour our hearts and our souls into these little characters. And we believe that they're going to be reciprocal of that love to us. And when they're not, it's a really tough place to be. Not only when they're not, but they're actually stonewalling you, like they're actually putting up big, big blocks. The only thing you can do is continue to go deep inside you. I know you are, but I'm just encouraging yet again for you to keep going deep into that pit within your own stomach. I don't know, it's just coming to me like the third chakra, like your own soul's place, like where it resides in your physical body and your physical being, and keep sitting with whatever feeling comes up. And as tough as that can be, because like we just get tired of feeling sad about these things, right? We get tired of feeling these emotions about loved ones who hurt us, and it creates a lot of heartbreak and a lot of heartache. And it's still calling you to go deep in there and feel that, because there's something more in there for you, and only you know what that is. Only you, meaning your soul. I know you're going, but wait, tell me what it is. And I want to tell you what it is, but it's a journey in there, and it's a journey that's different for everybody. What is it that's being asked of me to not feel this intensity of the separation from my child? Right? And knowing that we're always connected in some realm to other people in our life, even when they don't want to be connected to us. And so it's constantly reframing, but not ignoring. A really important difference. So you feel the feeling, you don't push it down and ignore it, you reframe it, you feel it, and then you reframe it in the sense of, I am going to allow myself to feel this feeling. And now I'm going to move beyond that feeling. Otherwise, you know what happens? You go into that sinker, right? That sinker of just like the same storylines go over and over and over. And that doesn't get us anywhere. So that's where you start to reframe, right? So just every time you start going into that feeling, feel it. Allow your body to feel it. But, oh, I feel it there. Oh, I feel it here. Oh, wherever it is in your body that you feel, that's great. I know it sounds weird to say, but it's always great when you can feel it in your body, because it means you're not numb. When we get numb and we're not feeling things and we're just thinking through them, that's the scarier place to be, because then we're just in our minds, we're not in our hearts. And pain is always calling us to be in the body and to be in touch with our heart center so that we can open and release. Right? So everyone thinks heartbreak is so terrible. I don't like heartbreak either when I'm in it, but I always know, and my guiding light in heartbreak is always that I know that when the heart breaks open, that I have an opportunity to heal something within, and that more light can come in and come right back out and right out to everyone else if I don't sit and wallow in the heartbreak. And it feels like, when it comes to children, like those precious souls that are so close to us for so many reasons, it's a challenge. I get it. And they're also the biggest opportunity to have the biggest breakthrough. And I feel like you're there. I feel like you're really there at that breakthrough point, and that it's just staying the course to feel the emotion, release it, reframe it, and keep moving forward. And I would also say one last thing. I would visualize that conversation as though you're having whatever it is you want to have with her, to say, this is how I feel about you. I so love you, and I so appreciate everything, and I so want to understand every aspect of you. And just keeping that door open, that you want to understand them even more so than wanting to I guess to release it within you, because when we really do understand others, we start to unravel whatever it is within ourselves that they're here to teach us, right? It's a lesson that they're here to teach us. So Children are beautiful, and I know they can be a nightmare all at the same time, whether they're 2 and they're in the terrible 2s or they're 22. When we're in discord and we're not feeling the love, especially when we've poured so much into them, it can be challenging. But I promise you, if you feel it, you reframe it, you release it, you're going to start to really blossom into another time-space reality with that person. And as I say that, releasing ideas and stories from the past, right? That's part of the reframe. But just to clarify, that's like not going back into the storylines of, oh, well, this happened, or I sent this, or I did this and it didn't change anything. Like, you have to stop going back into those stories of what didn't work and just keep moving forward as though it is working, and have that conversation with her at a soul level. There's a part 2 to this. How do I forgive myself for not being the parent she wanted? I read recently to write letters to her about how I feel about her and conversations I would have with her if I could. Any other suggestions? So yes, this is like right on mark with what we were just talking about, that you can write a letter. I think the letters are fine. I also feel like part of this is it's the visualization and it's the feeling in your heart as though you're having that conversation. So if the pen on the paper is most helpful for you to like actually be able to write it, great. If not, sit in meditation and really just have that conversation with her on a soul level. And it might take a little time, or it might not, for you to hear her and what she has to say. The other thing I've done in the past, which not in this exact same situation, but I've literally made a pot of tea, and I've gotten 2 cups, right? And I put the 2 cups at a table, or like in my living room, whatever, you can sit on your sofa or wherever you're at, and get the 2 cups and pour tea into both of them, like legitimately, like you're going to have this conversation, and just sit with it and just really ask. And maybe that's where you can journal if you're finding it hard to just like really hear, or you can pour the cup of tea and you can just sit and meditate. Or you can pour the cup of tea and put a teddy bear, or, whatever. If you have a dog or a cat or whatever wants to be that symbol for you, just let that be the symbol. It could be a pillow. It could be a cushion. Let's not overcomplicate it. And while that might sound silly, I promise you that if you allow yourself to be in the energy that you are having that healing conversation with them, that you will heal your heart. And release the ideas that you're going to heal them, because that's always the trap. When we think we're going to heal somebody else, that's the trap, because we're only here to heal ourselves, shine the light and show the way. And so please just stay really, really focused on that inward journey, and not what they are doing or not doing as a result of our work, right? It's a hard one, because we do all this work hoping that we can mend and build relationships and attract relationships when we're just doing the work for ourselves. So hopefully that's helpful. I know there was like a 2-part there. Again, let me know in the comments if there's any additional clarification you'd like. I so appreciate you joining the show. I would love for you to go to bethbell.me, because there are so many resources for you there. There's everything from the psychedelic resource guide, the herpes handbook, the awakening and healing handbook. There's the angels, herpes, and psychedelics book, of course. So much more on there. So bethbell.me, check it out. I look forward to seeing you next week, Sunday, 11:11 a.m. on Pacific time, here on the YouTube channel at Beth Bell Live. So wishing you much bliss and love on life's journey, and see you next week.